Danskog pisca Martinusa, koji je prije 35 godina umro u dubokoj starosti, može se jednako zvati filozofom i mistikom. U svojim dijelima dao je koncizan i sveobuhvatan opis svijeta u kojem se dohvaćaju i najdubljih pitanja našeg postojanja. Martinus se prije svega oslanjao na intuiciju, težeći razumijevanju i analizi onog što je smatrao duhovnim svijetom koji se nalazi u pozadini našeg fizičkog svijeta. Cilj mu je bio stvoriti duhovnu znanost koja može suvremenom, logički usmjerenom tragatelju za istinom dati dublji uvid u prirodu svijeta. Taj je pogled daleko optimističniji i sveobuhvatniji od onog uobičajenog, stvorenog našim navikama. Martinus je stvorio nereligijsku kozmobiologiju u kojoj je težio ponuditi logičko razumijevanje svijeta i njegove religijske dimenzije. Tog ćemo čovjeka s ruba koji spaja logiku i intuiciju večeras upoznati i ovdje, na rubu znanosti. Dobro večer. Daniel Opačić čovjek je bogate životne biografije, između ostalog i magistar građevinarstva i magistar međunarodnog menadžmenta, te doktor kozmologije, a doktorirao je na sveučilištu Atlantik u SAD-u. Također međunarodni predavač teme koju izučava već najmanje 2 desetljeća, a to je kozmologija Martinusa, Danca, kojeg bi bilo neprecizno pisati filozofom ili mistikom, pa ćemo ga zvati za ovu priliku intuitivnom znanstvenikom. Dobro večer.
Dobro večer. Good evening.
Da, za početak, tko je Martinus uopće? On nije toliko poznat širokoj javnosti, on je na neki način jedna vrlo, kako bi se rekla, razrađena kozmologija koja je primjerena ljudima koji doista žele nekakvu čistu esenciju bez puno balasta, kulturoloških, religijskih i drugih. Pa možda možemo krenuti od toga uopće kad je on živio i koja je u biti njegova nekakva vizija svijeta.
Okay. Martinus Thompson is a Danish-born man. Until age of 30, he was just the average man, working class, no education, a little bit interest in theosophy and in Bible. But in 1921, in March, during the Easter, he experienced incomprehensible expansion of consciousness. And afterwards it gave him insight into structure of the universe. For your viewers to understand what happened, it's that he could ask any question, and could get intuitively in his mental screen or in consciousness highly qualified the highest answer. So for him, big question of life was like peanuts. It's very easy to get. Next 60 years of his life, he spent producing 9,000 pages of the high intuitive quality material that will be a platform for moral, scientific, and educational development of humankind. Now you have people that are exceptionally creative or inquisitive minds, and they are somehow sticking to Martinus like bees going to the honey. No more than 400 people in this globe are deeply interested in something that you can call the theory of everything in existence. It's really key, not keyhole, the key into the life, and simply you develop tremendous passion to something that it's real, true knowledge. So what is cosmology? When you look at vocabularies, there is some two wrong definitions. It's a branch of astrophysics that deals with the origin, structure, and evolution of the universe. Also, you can call it metaphysical science. What it means metaphysical, but something highly abstract, overtly theoretical, so not easy to access by senses. And cosmos itself, this from all Greek word, meaning the orderly, not disorderly, orderly universe. So it's opposite of the chaos. What's wrong with the definition is the origin. Origin doesn't exist. If you have origin, you have termination. So you cannot have semi-eternity. According to Martinus, universe is eternal. Life just exists. It's something that it is. So it's no end. And why so? It just exists.
Za sad ćemo se morati zadovoljiti tim odgovorom. Koja je razlika između današnje ljudske, da tako kažemo, znanosti i one koje je Martinus nazvao duhovnom znanosti?
Okay, let's first, just because of the viewers, to define what it means, the science in a standard, traditional way. It's documentation of the facts. These facts could be collected by, observation, using senses of measurement. Something that is not easily accessible can be obtained a theoretical way. And that must be reproducible. It must be confirmed and verified independently. So Martinus science is science based on intuition. Man-made science is science based on intelligence. They have commonality in two postulates. One is the law of cause and effect, and another is postulate that the sum of all energies is constant, meaning eternal. It's kind of a law of thermodynamics valid for the closed system. And commonality stops here, because the Martinus cosmology, or the spiritual science, as he called it, always look for the purpose. And wherever you have movement, you have plan and purpose. And wherever you have plan and purpose, you have consciousness. And wherever you have consciousness, this is sign of life, sign of the source. The man-made science, for them everything is, or most of things, are random. So coming by chance, they introduce so-called emergency theory, spontaneity. They cannot explain how from a dead matter suddenly you have organic matter. Also, it's very dubious explanation of the origin of our part of the universe, this Big Bang. Martinus called it like it's a local phenomena, nothing special about it. Like if you would be a super micro dust of the speck in the lungs, your own lungs, and you would look at, it's like you look the clear night sky, there's the same picture, and you will see all the time inflation, meaning you inhale the air and you are in expansion phase. So part of the cycles, one of the many. Universe is built on endless cycles in a spiral way, upwards and onwards. Mm-hmm. So Martinus deals with both eternal and temporal phenomena. The man-made science is in big confusion what is what, and they have very unscientific approach to temporal phenomena. Mm-hmm. And then you have one religious movement, especially strong in America. It's called creationist or intellectual design, and they are somehow, in some elements, using the elements of science, are simply negating Darwinism and many other things, saying that's impossible. But they have problem explaining, again, the origin of the universe, saying that it's let's say, overnight delivery by God, and stopping there. Martinus explained everything.
Kako se unutar Martinusove kozmologije radi ili ne radi je razlika između onog što iskustveno doživljavamo kao živu ili neživu tvar?
That's a big question of life that traditional science didn't give the answer. Okay, for the viewers, it will be very hard to imagine that, let's say, trade unions are matter. How? You have the cluster of the eyes of its creation called the yastvo that are gathered together around some idea. Until this idea is glue for them, they will stay together. Once there is a resolution, they will fall apart. So if you would have people on the streets or football fans, they're in their action, they make violence in the street, and when you would zoom out, you will see them as a matter. So it's a question of mental perspective. If you zoom out, you'll see everything as a matter. When you zoom in, you will see individual units. Basically, difference between inorganic and organic matter, lifeless and alive matter, is in three elements. One is individualization. You see some vigorous movement in alive matter. Second is reproduction. And third is the aging, which doesn't start immediately after creation. So like us, we are born, we oppose the nature, resistance of the, let's say, truth of time. And in one moment we reach culmination, and then we go in a second part of the cycle. So first was construction, the second is decomposition or dissolution. So we go to the end of our life, physical life. Mm-hmm. So that's the basic difference between these two kinds of matter.
Kada Martinus priča o vječnom svijetu, nije to nova ideja u povijesti ljudskog roda da je svemir vječan i slično. Što je tu esencijalno novo?
Okay, Martinus brought many new things. One of them is where we are in an evolutionary ascending path. He gives us through cosmic analysis and explanations exactly where we are in any given moment and why. Second thing is there is, 40, 50, even more laws and principles that govern the life and makes universe sustainable. Any cosmologist, spiritual cosmologist, must learn all of it in order to get the clear idea about any outer phenomena and to understand it deep. Otherwise, it would be impossible. I will just mention a few laws. Laws of cause and effect, law of attraction and repulsion of matter, law of hunger and satiation, primordial desire, law of repetition, parenthood principle, and so on, many. Mm-hmm. But what I'm saying is pretty tricky scientific business to have it all in your heads like multidimensional matrix. But once you learn about it, it's easy. Martinus made this highly abstract material in very accessible, intellectually accessible forms for the students, us. Which,
da, on je u stvari htio ono što je prije bilo u domeni iracionalnog na neki način ispričati jezikom logike. Exactly. To je bilo njegova namjera. Tako da kada se susrećemo sa pojmovima, svakog bi trebalo nanovo definirati i redefinirati da vidimo što je zapravo Martinus imao u vidu kad je koristio ono što mi zapravo nazivamo određenim riječima. Primjerice, kozmička kemija. Naravno, kada se danas kaže kozmička kemija, svakom se čini da mu je jasno o čemu se radi. Možemo povezati svemir i kemiju i pričati o načinu kako su sastavljeni planeti, eventualno spore po svemiru i slično. Ono što je Martinus imao u vidu kada je upotrebio taj izraz cosmic chemistry ili kozmička kemija?
Okay, this is something of course part of the spiritual science, but deals with mental substances. For instance, you have some rocket scientist does military hardware, and in one moment his life partner is saying goodbye to him, or one of his parents is dead. His mathematical formulas won't help him to resolve his current mental situation. So behind physical chemistry, if we put together the wrong chemicals, we can produce some undesirable effects. And we are fully aware or conscious about the physical chemistry in our life, but not at all conscious about cosmic chemistry. Basically, it means that you don't create your own stormy mental climates in your consciousness. If you do, you obviously go against the cosmic laws, which will have repercussions. Why? Because mosquito or insect, what mosquito can do in a eye of the storm? What we do when we have undesired food in our stomach? There are two ways getting rid of it. So the planet Earth also will get rid of us if we do a major violation of the cosmic laws. So basically, the cosmic chemistry is process of cultivation of man consciousness in order to create in each and every moment in his life the better future, because through our thoughts and action we create the future. As we live now, our past thoughts and actions. So that's how it works.
Prije nego što se pozabavimo više, kako bismo rekli, uplivom te Martinusove kozmologije i njenom upotrebom u svakodnevnom životu, mogli bi još ostati kod nekih pojmova koji se ovako malo više zvuče tehnički. Primjerice, on je spominjao elektricitet kao četvrto stanje tvari. Bilo bi zanimljivo čuti što je Martinus vidio u elektricitetu i zbog čega ga je nazvao četvrtim stanjem tvari i na kraju krajeva pridao mu je posebnu važnost.
It's a very tough question, a big question of life. We assume electricity. We have it everywhere, even in our body. We have Wi-Fi radio waves. We have car and trains now. Tesla is famous in America. By the way, American genius and Croatian-born Tesla, he said that electricity is filling empty space. Some people, I don't know if it's an authentic statement or not, but say that it's God's consciousness. It's a little bit overstatement, but anyway. So what is electricity? The only person, as far as I know, was Martinus that explained it. But I have to make a small introduction. This spiral life, you can cut it at two, and that we would call as one phase, one unit. You can call life spiral segment. This segment consists time-wise in eons of time. This is wholeness, but it's divided in, let's say, 6 zones or planes of existence according to energy which dominate in each of these zones. There are basically 2 elements. One is involution into physical matter, and one is evolution from the physical matter. When you spend billions of years in light, in an electromagnetic field, then you start to make longing for the going back into physical life. That's natural. If you are too much exposed to the sun, you long for the shadow. If you are with a partner that you are falling in love, in one moment you separate, you depart because it's not any more inspiration. So the same thing happens in the nature. It's cosmic law. So beings that are for long in the spiritual world, they start to long to coming back to the physical world, and they create a tremendous mental force. That force connects with the basic unintellectual energies of the universe, which is instinct, and the so-called energy of expansion. That creates electricity. So that's explanation for the electricity. Electricity is basic building material for material world and spiritual world, because our thoughts are made of the material that it's 7 zones more down from the level of molecules. We have level of molecules, cells, organs, us. So it's 10 levels down from us. But it's again material. It's invisible. It's, as you said, 4th state of matter, but it is material. So it's building material of universe is electricity. But when electricity meets another energy, an energy of cooling or energy of contraction of the universe, then you get matter. You get first fiery clouds, solar energy, and then with more influence of that energy of contraction, of cooling, you go into a gaseous state, liquid state, and solidified state. But again, all this is illusion, because what we see as a solid is just a tremendous high speed of electron and atomic and subatomic particles that are moving, and they create like a movie. You have 16 or 24 frames, and you get the impression that something is moving. The same thing with our bodies. If you will go deep into the structure of the diamond or Kevlar or anything, you also have basically small particles and enormous distance, which we call empty space, and some even smaller particles going in some logical orbits. The same thing as you see in a night sky. So basically, if you would apply a mathematical function, the universe is empty. That empty space is filled out by electricity, is omnipresent, invisible for us.
Kada pričamo o tim poznatim izrazima koji imaju neko dodatno značenje, jedno od njih je i neka vrsta trojnog načela, rekao bih. Što je iz Martinusove vizije, perspektive, spoznaja bilo to trojno načelo?
Yeah, it's one of the pillars of Martinus cosmology. It's extremely important point and cosmic analysis. Each living being consists of the I, which is the innermost sense of our individuality or our identity. That's the reason why we say I read, I present, I sleep, I. Then another element is creative ability to attract and repulse. And the third element is created. What is created, what is temporal, is our body and our consciousness. Two elements are eternal, I and creative power, no beginning, no end. So this is called triune principle of living being, and the same can be applied for the universe. The universe is also a living being, but it's needed another aspect to put in the picture. That another aspect is life within life principle. What it means? It means that each living being is at the same time dependable and indispensable for its master being. In our case, it's Earth. And at the same time, its master being that it's makes the living space for myriads of the beings in the micro world, which are dependable and indispensable for him. A simple example, the thirst or hunger impulse, it's crying from the micro world that something has to be done. To the micro big, which is I. We are the master. We make decision when, what to eat and what kind of food to combine in order to make harmony or chaos. So all universe is in that way interconnected. Go ahead.
Kako je Martinus vidio svrhu, da tako kažemo, čovječanstva, uopće njegova postojanja ili njegovih stremljenja ili nekih ciljeva kojima bi se čovječanstvo, ako uopće, trebalo težiti ili se transformirati ili mijenjati?
Of course,
to je ipak za nas središnje pitanje.
Yeah, having into consideration that there is law of cause and effect, of course everything is in one process. As we are all aware, we live in something that Martinus put in very, very strong terms, doomsday, and it started with the First World War. It will last next 300 or 400 years. We are in a darkness of civilization. Doesn't matter this technological gadgets or anything else, because the mentality is could be described as a sphinx. So it's half animal, half human being. So the purpose of our evolution is humanization of our intelligence and the same thing, intellectualization of our feelings. We both of them bring into the harmony and the higher level, then we open up our gateway for the receiving the most potent, most vibrant and high-quality energy, which is energy of intuition. So this process of going from unselfish into selfish state, process of going transition with many derailments, many deviations, many meandering, would finish in for each and every of us, like Martinus, to regaining or renewal of the cosmic consciousness. At that point, which will be more or less in 3,000 years from now, when we mature our mentality, when we humanize ourselves completely, then we wouldn't have any more reason to reincarnate on this planet or anywhere else. We'll spend eons of time in a real paradise, because if you are surrounded, first you are bodiless, there is no resistance, and you can create in a split of second anything just by your thoughts. It is...
Unaprijed se veselim eonima provedenim u elektromagnetskoj juhi. Biće to zabavno. Martinus je također, naravno, sve ovo ne bi imalo smisla kad ne bi imalo nekih praktičnih savjeta ili naputaka za ljudski život. Rekao je neke stvari koje danas se često puta isto govore, na razne načine se shvaćaju. Jedna od tih ideja je bila i da čovjek mora na neki način napustiti udobnost čopora ili krda. To se na prvi pogled svakom individualcu naravno sviđa i slično. Kakva je bila Martinusova interpretacija i zbog čega je uopće to zaključio kao tako važno načelo?
Look, we are in a life sometimes criticizing why our fellow neighbor is not different than he is. So everybody is in its optimum condition in a given moment. Cannot be better. So everyone that criticizes make crucial mistakes. Being in a flock, of being in a herd, is just a natural part of transition from animal mentality to human mentality. So why people are part of the flock, why they are part of this mass suggestion, basically manipulation, lying, something that's a very low level in terms of moral intelligence, they have to be there. It's their natural condition and natural position for the time being, when they're still not, it's not possible for them naturally, organically, to develop as individuals. So the process of individualizations assumes saying goodbye to the flock. Of course, it's not easy, and people are, it's very, very hard sometimes to look in a mirror. Especially hard to look in the inner mirror, to face with all your own misdoings, with your real way of being. Mm-hmm. So people don't like it, and they stay with the flock because it's a place of less resistance. But that as a result, there is complete and total stagnation of something we called common sense. And without common sense and ratio, you cannot move forward. So the only way is to leave the flock.
U svakom slučaju, to nas vodi do sljedećeg pitanja, a to pitanje ima veze sa savješću, na neki način možemo to nazvati grizodušjem i slično, čime se također Martinus bavio pitanjem uzroka, posljedice, razloga i što to govori o svijetu i nama samima. Na koji način je on zapravo došao do zaključka što u stvari uzrokuje grižnju savjesti i grizodušje ili takve slične, mislim, tu pojavu i doživljaj čovjeka koji se opisuje na tako razne načine?
That's a great question, and it's something that is also part of transition. We're not perfect, so we don't have perfect reactions in any given situation. If you've eaten something that doesn't belong to the body, you have immediate reaction. This reaction is a pain, and pain tells you that you did the wrong thing. So on a pain, on a level of body, it's kind of pangs of conscience. What is in the mental sphere? Pangs of conscience is something which we feel as a guilty conscience because it's below our moral standard. So when we do something that we don't accept and we are dissatisfied with our own misdoings, how that can be resolved? But through repent, through apology. So that's a restoration of the mental balance. So, I'm sorry.
Yeah,
you had here recently the wars, and people are wondering why some that committed terrible war crimes they don't feel any inner turmoil. You cannot see any sign of compassion, humility. And simply they are young souls. Mm-hmm. They're too undeveloped, let's put it that way, so that they cannot have it. Animals don't have it, because in the animal world, the condition of living is to kill it. Also, primitive people don't have it. Mm-hmm. Also, people that develop full cosmic consciousness, they don't have it, because they're not capable of carrying out acts that will produce guilty consciousness. So it's, again, works perfectly if you analyze the right way.
Očigledno da je dio Martinusovog svjetonazora i kozmologije bila i reinkarnacija. Na koji način ju je on vidio? Danas smo do sad svjedočili raznim tumačenjima, akcije, reakcije, kazne, nekazne, prenošenja percepcije i slično. Na koji način je Martinus vidio reinkarnaciju koju je očigledno smatrao jednim logičkim krugom ako pričamo o nečemu što se na neki način iz energije prostora zgušnjava i materializira pa se potom vraća natrag. No, gdje smo tu mi? I što se tu s nama zbiva? I možemo li to malo ubrzati?
It's very interesting. He gave one example. He said, if you don't believe in reincarnation, you don't believe that sun is shining over other continents when you sleep. So it's something extremely logical for a logical mind. It's part of the cycles, like work and rest. It's extended cycles of the day and night. You work during the day, you go to sleep, and your consciousness leaves your body. Exactly the same happens during the reincarnation. You spend a little bit longer period of time in the spiritual sphere and you come back. Why you are coming back? That's the crucial question.
Dobro pitanje.
Yeah, that's the crucial question. Because that's the only place where your misdoings show you the consequences, which is pain and suffering. So basically, the role of reincarnation is to, again, to cultivate, to emancipate your mentality, to see the cause and effect. What your misdoings produce to you and to other fellow beings, to the environment. If produce good things, so you can continue. If not, then you have to correct. Otherwise, the universe would correct. Mm-hmm. And principle of reincarnation also assumes that you are not changing your sex, as some Eastern religions state. You stay the same all the time. So the sex is changed only after eons of time passed, and it's regulated with something else. It's called sexual principle. This principle regulates the pulsation within this huge phase of the universe.
Dobro, kad smo već spomenuli seksualni princip, što bi on značio unutar Martinusove kozmologije?
Okay, deeper explanation, but I would just focus on something that is of human interest. Each of us, each living being has two poles, masculine and feminine. During the most part of this long evolutionary path of cosmic evolution, these two poles are equal. But in animal zone, each of us has one dominant pole and one is in dormant or latent stage. And that regulates our mentality and our attraction to the opposite pole, which we miss. In the future, we are it's process of awakening of that secondary pole, and in a couple of thousand years it will be not males and not females, will be third sex or third pole, meaning in mentality these two poles will equalize. Just to explain to the viewers to understand it better. Now, when you have one pole beings, you have basically interest around three functions, which is family, how to bring the food and take care of the orphans, and reproduction. The second pole that is in awakening is any kind of interest in any other field. So it's in fact intellectual pole. And we have something is also very controversial. It's a question of homosexuality, if I can touch it in...
to je vrlo aktualno pitanje, pa zašto ne? Pogotovo u kontekstu činjenica da već danas postoje tendencije nekakvom ukidanju spolova kroz razne riječi, slično roditelj 1, roditelj 2, što naravno nekako isključuje tradicionalne poglede otac-majka, no na neki način to nalikuje Martinus ovoj viziji, a možda se na neki način i razlikuje. Kako vi to vidite?
Yes, I'll try to explain just in a few sentences. Everybody will go through that phase in a short period of time, but not in a way how it's articulated today. So it will be very discreet, and it will be in very intellectualized very intellectualized way expressed. What it means, when a person becomes aware of this second sex or second pole in itself, in the case of male, this is female, that pole becomes attracted to the male or man. It means that we, in fact, don't have the attraction of the same sex as many people state, but the opposite sex, which is logical and natural, like electromagnetic poles, like anything else in the nature. What happens today is that we have premature opening of the second pole, which produces this desire to be expressive and to show all character traits which are not something that is present in very developed men. You have to be discreet. And you don't have to show jealousy, envious, and all these, I would say, attributes of the one-pole being state, which people that fall in love and fall out of love produce. So it's, and why that happened? Because people either were abused in previous lives, sexual abused, incest, or any other kind of abuse. So this is kind of, so to say, artificial opening with derailed characteristics of state of being, state of mind.
Martinus je također dao neke savjete kako čovjek može izgraditi vlastiti karakter. Pa vjerujem da je mnogim ljudima zapravo privlačna ideja gradnje vlastitog karaktera, ideja da budu bolji, da budu više u skladu sa sobom, sa okolinom, svemirom, prirodom. Koji su to Martinusovi savjeti za gradnju karaktera?
Okay,
da budemo malo i praktični.
Martinus was asked by many people, okay, I want to have better life. I want to be better towards the others and environment. So I'm a little bit lost how to do it. So Martinus came out with a very short guidance, what someone should do in order to practically develop this mental yoga function in itself. That's something that it requires engagement of the full mental engagement that becomes the habitual consciousness or automatic function. So the first is to remove the concept of enemy from your consciousness. Second is don't ever kill, torture any other living being, including animals. Third, never speak ill of anybody else. Fourth, always speak truth in any situation in front of anyone. Be truthful to yourself. Fifth, in the case that someone praise you or criticize you, be indifferent, be in a distance. Sixth, always think. how you can be a service and benefits to other human beings. And there are a few more. One includes, for instance, how we can train to look at other people, not to dislike them, not to develop antipathy. Is to treat them as plants and a summer shadow. So you have some plants with beautiful scent, beautiful looking, and you also have weeds. What we have in life, we have bandits and we have Christ. Not many, but we have some, and anything in between. So try to look the other human beings as plants. Also be forgiven. Never be tired of giving forgiveness.
Živimo u vrijeme kada je primjetan porast državnog nadzora nad svim razinama, kako unutar svake pojedine države, kroz elektronički nadzor, kroz silne zakone koje ograničavaju ili reguliraju ili hiperreguliraju svaku djelatnost ljudskog života, pa sve do globalnih cjelina koje su potom nadređene državama, pa imamo razne te velike međunarodne sporazume, nadnacionalne, Europsku uniju, naftu, transpacifičke, sad pa transatlantske sporazume. I svi oni nas vode do pitanja uloge države koja je u ovom trenutku u punom smislu riječi zapravo jedna vrst represivnog aparata koji je visoko birokratiziran i koji na neki način ne vodi se baš zdravim razumom, odnosno nastoji na neki način ugurati sve unutar zadanih obrazaca, pa sad ti vidiš što ćeš unutar toga i kako ćeš se izvući. Kako je Martinus promišljao ulogu države, ako recimo zamišljamo da nam uopće države trebaju ili možda da države imaju potencijala da budu nešto što ide u dobrobit ljudi, a ne samo na neki način u službi, ne znam, u današnje suvremeno vrijeme recimo korporativnih interesa. Bilo bi zanimljivo čuti jednu možda humanističku, razumnu ili svijetlu verziju onog što bi bila uloga države, a možda je zapravo Martinus se sigurno time bavio, ali što je zaključio?
As we said, Martinus was in position to give a substantive answer on anything, including the role of the state. So what would be the role of the state in our age and in the future? The first function is to protect developed individuals from torture and abuse of undeveloped. Second is to locate in the earliest possible stage the talents and gifts in anyone, meaning that if these talents are polished, the person will be in harmony with self and to be in the joy and benefits for the rest of the society. And at the same time you have a win-win situation. It's perfect for the society. Third is make by all means the ground for cultural development according to New World impulse and intellectualization of the society. Fourth, we still have states as more or less behaving as bandits. So within a state you have law enforcement agencies, police, court, public prosecutor, but outside UN is still very weak and doesn't have reinforcement agencies. So state must protect because some are less developed. The way to protect it is not militarism. Militarism brings war. Okay, war is something very, I would say, unpleasant good, because during the accelerative period you have militarists that turns overnight into pacifists. So war is in a way good from the cosmic point of view. But the smart states, I would say like Scandinavia right now, they solve the issue in a way to the peaceful means, to diplomacy. So overall role of state, it's tremendously important because in Old Testament people delegated states to create environment for their life. As we see, many states are defeated, failed. Politicians are generally incompetent. They simply occupy the place and position they don't deserve. And if any of politicians would follow this list of Martinus, he will make great thing for his own state.
Zato danas mnogi ljudi i razmišljaju uopće o pitanju nadležnosti države nad njima. Ima li država uopće nadležnost nad njima ako je oni nisu dali, s obzirom da ih nije država stvorila, znači nadležnost pripada nekom ko te ili stvorio ili samom sebi i slično. I to su također dijelovi klatna suvremenog doba. Martinus je također rekao da ljudsko biće može prave odgovore naći samo u spiritualnom svijetu. Što je po time mislio?
Look, when you are tired, you go to sleep, you are in the spiritual world. When you died, you also rest a little bit prolonged period of time in the spiritual world. If you, once you gain the cosmic consciousness, you don't return to the physical world for a very long time. So it is spiritual world. When you say, what's the 2 plus 2, simple mathematical operation, it's in spiritual world. All mathematics is spiritual world. When I say this glass is beautiful, I see this glass beautiful, cosmologists would say, spiritual scientists would say, I have a mental image of sensory perception of the glass that I find beautiful. A little bit rough, but correct statement. In other words, what we have subjective perception, projective perception of reality. Even the German philosopher Immanuel Kant in the 18th century realized that sense thing and the thing itself is different. So all this life, it's our how to say, illusionary perception. So I'll give you one example, and the example of a space. We have bodies, we have this table, chairs, cameras in this studio, and imagine for a moment that they don't exist. And what you get a blank screen. So that's the proof that this is, everything is in our, people say, our mind, I would say in our consciousness. So we are, in fact, physical beings, but we are much more spiritual beings. And in the future we will be much more.
Evo i za kraj, za ove zadnje 2 minute možda možete sažeti u jedno pitanje zbog čega se našeg ovog zemaljskog čovjeka opisuje iz perspektive Martinusove kozmobiologije kao jednu kontroliranu eksploziju, znači eksploziju koja eto nije baš potpuno izvan kontrole i na kraju krajeva ukratko kako primijeniti te vječne zakone kako ih je Martinus nazvao za stvaranje individualne sreće.
Okay, constrained explosion, it's one phase between 2 pendular movement phases. On one side we have fiery cloud, and on the other side we have stillness, but not the absolute stillness. Absolute stillness is only I, within the I, where we have all contrast nullifying each other, +7, -7, the war, peace, hot, cold. So the life is illusion because it's monitored through the cosmic perspective principle. So between these 2 movements, one where is dominated energy of expansion and another one where is dominated by energy of contraction of the universe, we have all other movements. And restrained explosion on the mentality level means when we control our feelings, there is not outburst of anger, it's not ill-tempered, no bitter reaction, and so on. So no explosions. And in those terms, you can call the state of mind of a man, it's constrained explosion. And of course, we have no time, it requires much deeper and...
možda bi se mogli završiti sa nekim praktičnim savjetom, uvjetno rečeno praktičnim, jer ništa ovdje nije istinski praktično, sve je metafizički, ali praktično, odnosno postoje praktično tek kad prihvatiš metafizičku stranu i slično. Kako primijeniti te zakone za ono što ljude najviše zanima, a to je jedna jedina uvijek ista stvar, kako postići sreću u životu. Zapravo sva ljudska stremljenja možemo svesti na taj jedan nazivnik, jer sreća obuhvaća puno toga što je inače odvojeno, znači i u sklad sa okolišem i neku svrhu u životu i zanimljivost i tako. Na koji način se mogu primjenom tih poznavanja vječnih zakona povećati tu količinu sreće u životu?
Things are relatively simple. First precondition to gain the happiness is not to expect how other people relate to you, but how you relate to other people in the environment. Second, there are people that dislike you, people that persecute you, curse you, break even It's the moment when you see in them the God, when you see the same as yourself. That's something that Christ said during his moments of suffering. They don't know what they are doing. That's it. So you make one mental distance from that mental position. And of course, you don't need to aim in life for any kind of power, to be part of power structure, fame, to be seen and heard. The wise people are on the sidelines in this life. And these people are willing to help the other. These people would only raise their voice when duty calls. And these people are very close to experience something that it's a cosmic glimpse. It's, I would say, the intuition through the keyhole. And that way, anyone that had a cosmic glimpse suddenly realized this is really not a life. The real life in a spiritual zone. The real life, it's something out of the box. And anyone who follows that path, there's no doubt, will be in position to experience inner peace, harmony, to be joy and blessing for anyone else. It means happiness.
Daniele, hvala. I tko zna, do neke sljedeće prilike mora se reći da Martinusovih knjiga, odnosno tih njegovih 9000 stranica je objavljeno u serijalima knjiga gdje svaka od ovih tema i mnoge druge su detaljno razrađene. Na kraju ovih 15 tema je izbor od 50 tema. Koje su izbor od par stotina tema? Pa tko zna, možda se opet i vidimo kada dođete u Hrvatsku. Hvala i doviđenja.
Thank you, and thank you for your viewers to be awakened and spiritually awakened in these late hours.
Hvala i vama na pažnji. Eto, tim teškim pitanjima o postojanju nikad kraja u ljudskom životu, ali od najstarijih vremena postoje ljudi koji su im se posvetili, koji su dali neke odgovore. I fascinantna je činjenica da su mnogi od tih odgovora u rasponu koji vremenski pokriva tisućljeća, a prostorno cijeli svijet, međusobno često vrlo sukladni i uvijek nam donose sliku svijeta koja je na neki način uvijek naš vlastiti odraz, koji nosi sklad fizičkog i metafizičkog, koji na neki način gubi one svoje oštre materijalne bridove kojima smo umjetno podijelili svijet na stvarno i nestvarno, na materijalno, na nematerijalno, na objektivno i na subjektivno, pa na kraju i na dan i na noć koje opet ovise samo o mjestu gdje se nalazimo. I kad smo već kod noći, laku noć.